some interesting new developments, or hopefully potential developments, coming from the Cornel West campaign. Yesterday, there was a worker strike back event. That's Shama Sawant's new worker power union organization. They had an event the other day in New York City, which was attended by Chris Hedges as well as Briahna Joy Gray. And it looks like there was a pretty interesting moment here where Chris Hedges actually told Briahna Joy Gray that he's set up a meeting between the Green Party and Cornel West, and he recommends that Cornel West run on a Green Party ticket out of concern for the People's Party lack of ballot access. So I caught a couple different videos here from a couple different angles, but shout out to Case Study QB for posting this clip. He was actually there in person at the Worker Strike Back event. Obviously, Zach and I would have loved to have gone to that. If it wasn't in New York City, we probably would have. But yeah, let's take a look at this clip that Case posted and break this down, because if this happens, oh God, I'm going to be real excited, guys. And I'm going to be singing a very different tune as it relates to Cornel West's presidential campaign.
Let's look at it. Just off the record. I've been playing with my phone because I set up a meeting with Cornel and the Green Party for tomorrow morning because of the issues you just raised.
Great. Is that to say that you would recommend a Green Party run in the alternative, or?
I'm recommending that the Green Party, that Cornel runs as the Green Party candidate.
Yes.
And I think we should pick Shama to run with him. Not a joke, by the way. But yeah, I share all your concerns, and just on the issue of ballot access, the People's Party doesn't have any. And I, having worked with Ralph in his campaigns, I saw all of the impediments most of the Democratic Party throws to make it impossible for a third party candidate from the left to run. And part of it was challenging his petitions, which were all legitimate, they challenged them in court. They ran up over $1 million in legal fees that Ralph had to pay. So, I mean, just all sorts of mechanisms. But I share all of your concerns. I mean, and I think that centering, Howie Hawkins, who I like very much, I mean, he ran not just as a Green Party candidate, he had other smaller parties, but he was also a candidate. And I would like to see Cornel do the same. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good idea that Chris mentions at the end of the clip there. Like, maybe Howie won't just run as a Green Party candidate, but maybe in association with some other third-party groups. I remember last time around when Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker were the Green Party nominees, I believe they ran in tandem with the Socialist Party of America or something like that. Feel free to correct me in the chat, you guys. But they weren't just running on the Green Party ticket line. It was like Greens and Socialists. It was like the unity ticket. Unfortunately, that unity didn't end up securing them any more of the vote. They actually did significantly worse last time around than Jill Stein did. But it's something that Zach and I have been advocating for a while. It's like, if we're going to have a successful left-wing third-party movement, at some point, these third parties are going to have to coalesce. They're going to have to unite, because if there's a third-party candidate, if there's a Green Party candidate, if there's a People's Party candidate, if there's a PSL candidate and a socialist candidate, I mean, there's already 1 or 2% of the vote to fucking go around. If you're splitting it 3 or 4 ways, that's not going to be very good. So I like the fact that Chris Hedges not only is willing to recognize and is seemingly aware of the fact that the People's Party does not have the infrastructure necessary to make this a successful run, but at the end there, he even throws out the idea that they might do like a multi-party strategy where they, unite some of these third parties under one umbrella, which, like I said, is just something that's going to happen at some point to avoid all these leftist third parties splitting an already, infinitesimal fraction of the vote. So this is great news to me. Did you catch the end there, Zach, or do you want me to replay it? Yeah, but this is good news. Like I said, we got one more angle that I wanted to play for you guys. I'm not sure if this is the same video or if it's just, or if it's a, if this is a different video just from the same angle, but this is another one that's been going around. So let's take a look here. This one looks like it's subtitled.
Professor Hedges, about this announcement that Cornel West is running. He's decided to run with the Movement for the People's Party. I know Socialist Alternative, Workers' Strike Back has advocated for a new party, a new third party. There have been questions about.
Also, just to clarify, I was not saying splitting the dim vote. I was saying if there's multiple third-party candidates all running as leftists, they're going to split each other's pool of the vote. So if there's a Green Party candidate and a People's Party candidate, mostly third-party candidates get like 3% of the vote. If you're splitting that 3% among 2 or 3 different lefty third parties, that's the vote splitting I'm talking about. I'm not talking about cutting into the Democratic vote, bro.
Professor Hedges, about this announcement that Cornel West is running. He's decided to run with the Movement for the People's Party. I know Socialist Alternative, Workers' Strike Back has advocated for a new party, a new third party. There have been questions about why not run with the Green Party. MPP has been embroiled in a degree of controversy over the course of the last couple of years. And I wonder what you make strategically about of that particular choice and how the left should look at it.
Is this off the record?
Apparently not, because we're all talking about it.
I've been playing with my phone because I set up a meeting with Cornell and the Green Party for a long time because of the issues you just raised.
Is this one the same audio as last time?
Recommend a Green Party run in the alternative, or?
I'm recommending that the Green Party, that Cornell runs as the Green Party candidate.
Yes.
Woo! Yes! Yes! Yes!
And again, I mean, I'm not sure why this wasn't the obvious path from the beginning. Like, obviously, the Green Party was the preferable route from the beginning. But again, I am really glad that apparently Chris Hedges and Cornel West have decided to try to go that route. And yes, Cornel West will have to participate in the Green Party primary in order to win the Green Party nomination, unlike the People's Party, who seemingly was just willing to coronate him their candidate, despite anyone else potentially vying for that nomination. I'm sure there will be other people in the Green Party that step up to challenge Cornel West, try to, win the nomination themselves. But, let's be honest, Cornel West is going to win that fucking Green Party nomination. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. I cannot imagine anyone else rising up from the Green Party to best Cornel West that will get more votes than Cornel West, because the members of the Green Party know better than anyone. They're more desperate than anyone to get a candidate to 5% to make their party relevant again, in a way that it really hasn't been since, Jill Stein, but arguably even Ralph Nader. So they want a good candidate, trust me. And I think that, Cornel West will handily win this nomination if that's the route he decides to go.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Look, I mean, what have we been pleading for the Green Party? To get a candidate that has a little bit of clout, a little bit of name recognition. This is a name that people know. I mean, if you think about it, Cornel West was a name that, a guy like even Joe Rogan knows, right? And Joe Rogan isn't necessarily like a bastion of progressive politics, right? But he was like, oh, I remember in the 90s, you wrote that book, Race Matters. I read that and I was really interested. So he has a way of reaching people who, wouldn't normally be thinking about these kinds of politics, right? It's approachable and but it's profound, right? And it's powerful. So, I think that he would clean up. If Howie Hawkins can win a primary for the Green Party, then you have to bet your fucking last dollar that Cornel West could clean up in there. And that's why, doesn't concern me at all. I think that he would easily go in there. And like you said, Gavin, just absolutely clean up. And it would be exciting for him to do that. Now, is it a little bit disappointing that this wasn't the route that he chose to pursue initially? Yes, absolutely. It's a little disappointing. But better late than never. And shout out to Presence over here. In what state does the People's Party have ballot access? Only one, Presence. Only one state did they ever actually get fucking ballot access, in Florida. Of all fucking places, you think you're going to win a fucking presidential state in Florida? Get fucked. You're an idiot. If you think that that's going to the Republican Party, God damn it, there's no other way about it. No two ways about it. Trump is winning Florida. Whether he's on, like, I feel like Trump could easily win Florida as a write-in candidate almost. That's a lie, but, it almost seems that way. So, yeah, that's the one state that the People's Party was able to get access in. And yes, the answer is West could be a candidate for both Green and Peace and Freedom Party or, People's Party. He could be the candidate for all of those. It would just be kind of irrelevant for him to be also the candidate for the People's Party if they don't have ballot access anywhere. So it's just like, oh, he's our candidate too. It's like that's almost like an endorsement at that point, but not like he's an actual member of your party. But, in the same way that the Working Families Party often puts up the candidate on the ballot, even if they're a Democratic candidate also, like if they agree with that candidate. So let's just say that Bernie Sanders had become the Democratic nominee. Then the Working Families Party would have also put Bernie Sanders on the ballot. So you could vote for the Working Families Party, but it would still be Bernie Sanders' name. So that'd be counting towards him like becoming the president or whatever in this counterfactual scenario. But shout out to you, Presidents. I hope those answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And also shout out to Four Strings and The Truth for making this good point. I wish third parties would focus more on local and state elections. When they do run for president, they should focus on non-swing states. Well, as far as the first part of your super chat goes, I wish third parties would focus more on local and state elections. This is actually why, one of the big reasons why the Green Party should be taken way, way, way more seriously than the People's Party ever should be. For all my criticisms of the Green Party, they actually do have some sort of a presence and infrastructure on the local level. They have quite a few Greens elected at various local levels across the country. They have people on city council, people in state legislature. Not to overstate their presence, but they at least do have Greens elected. The People's Party has never run any local level candidates and only seems to be obsessed with chasing a presidential candidate. From the very beginning, they've been begging Jimmy Dore to be their candidate. They've been begging RFK Jr. to be their candidate. And then finally they, persuaded Cornel West to be their candidate, despite never having run a local level candidate. They have no infrastructure to do so. And yeah, this is something I've been saying for a long time. If the People's Party was serious about becoming a real organization like the Green Party became, despite its flaws, they should have started at a smaller level. They should have cut their teeth and proved themselves and their ability to run campaigns at a local level before jumping right into the presidential fucking election, the highest office in the land. So yeah, this was, a clear sign from the beginning that the People's Party was not serious. And they really were just trying to get, whether it was Jimmy Dore, RFK, or Cornel West to be their presidential candidate, kind of as a shortcut around, actually building an organization, actually doing that hard
cheat code.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just get Cornel West to agree, and then that's a shortcut into legitimacy. Now people are going to take us seriously and not pay attention to the fact that we've absolutely failed to do everything we promised because we're associated with Cornel West. That's why they were begging him to be their nominee, unlike the Green Party, which, as Colin points out here, didn't ask Cornel West. Now, should they have asked Cornel West? Maybe. But the point is that the reason why the People's Party did and they didn't is because the Green Party actually is doing things other than just trying to run.
They also have an actual legitimate primary process.
And they have an actual legitimate primary process. Exactly. But Nick
Same
Briahna,
reason they didn't ask Jesse Ventura to do it was against their code of conduct to try and persuade a candidate because they thought that it should be up to their base, which I agree with.
Yep. And as we've said from the beginning, despite the fact that we were upset that Jesse Ventura wasn't, given more of a warm welcome by the Green Party, yeah, he should have participated in the Green Party primary process if he wanted to become their nominee. And I think just like Cornel West, Jesse Ventura would have won that nomination. But yeah, that's why the People's Party was begging Cornel West to be their nominee and the Green Party wasn't, because Nick Briahna needed a shortcut to legitimacy instead of doing the years of hard work that it actually takes to build an organization that the Green Party actually has been putting in since the fucking 90s.
Tell him, Gavin. Also, shout out to Hysteric Raider. Yeah, this was based from Chris Hedges. I'm glad that he got in there and pushed Cornel towards a much more reasonable political organization, the Green Party, something with actual, infrastructure.
100%. Yeah. Shout out to you, Hysteric Raider. I'm really glad that Chris Hedges and seemingly Cornel West too have taken some of this feedback, taken some of the backlash to this decision. And not just from people like Zach and I who think that Nick Briahna is a snake and a grifter, but people that are just concerned about the lack of ballot access and infrastructure, people that want this campaign to be serious like ourselves, but are pointing out the fact that it's not going to be able to be serious. It's not going to be able to even really be a serious campaign at all. Under the campaign manager, under Nick Briahna's campaign leadership, right? He's not going to be able to lead your campaign to success. A lot of people were pointing out recently on Twitter that despite the fact that Cornel West announced his campaign and was soliciting donations, they hadn't even filed with the FCC to run for president in the first place.
Wait, that's exactly what I was talking to you about the other day, Gavin, when I was talking about how they legally, guys, this is what's so fucked up. This is how, oh my gosh. This is why the Lee Camp shit, drove me fucking crazy. Because you can look up, it's public record in the state of California how the People's Party is, structured as a tax entity. Okay, these guys aren't fucking dumb. They're doing their taxes every year. They're not flying under the organization. But what it is it is a private organization that is owned by Nick Briahna. Okay, that's what you're donating towards. Except the people who send them their money, sometimes my heart breaks for them. Some of them are just stupid fucking marks, okay, that want to pretend and participate in their phony, like chaotic fucking, chauvinistic revolution, okay, of nonsense on the internet. But a lot of them are desperate people that are just misled by the Pied Pipers of like fucking BreadTube that have decided to sell out to this useless horseshit organization. Right? Because what happens if you've stewed up your entire audience into nowhere? You don't trust the Republicans, you don't trust the Democrats, but you can trust this snake oil salesman pervert, who's literally can't, and they literally can't FCC file, I guarantee you, for president the way they're structured right now in California, which is why they haven't. Otherwise, they would have immediately. Okay. So basically, Nick Briahna is less competent as a campaign manager than Kanye West, who did file successfully with the FCC by like fucking the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, and here's what I was talking about. Yeah, as of now, Cornel West has actually not filed yet with the FEC for president as a candidate, nor filed a campaign committee. His website is taking donations for his presidential run, but where's the money going if there's no campaign committee filed? And again, this is why it's important to have competent people managing your campaign. Zach and I are not just upset about the fact that Cornel West was going about this via the People's Party and Nick Briahna for no reason, not just because we don't like Nick Briahna or something. This is not high school. No, it's because we know that the dude and his organization is fundamentally incapable of running a serious campaign. All he knows how to do is create hype on Twitter and maybe get you to trend for a day, like he did with the People's Party after their little, what was that? The
Force the vote thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's good at creating like little, 24-hour Twitter cycles where you trend on Twitter and get a bunch of like moderately, people with a moderate amount of clout to retweet you or whatever. But when it comes to actually building a serious campaign, when it comes to actually putting in the organization and work to make something like this successful, clearly he's not up to the fucking task, as proven by the fact that they announced before even filing with the fucking FEC, which could actually get you in trouble, I think. So, Cornel West needs to do this in a smart way. And that's why it's such a fucking, thank God, it's such a great thing that it looks like, potentially they're going to be setting something up to run with the Green Party. Because again, despite the Green Party's faults, it's not like Zach and I are out here pretending like the Green Party is a perfect organization. And far from it. We have many criticisms.
They've actually moved backwards over the years, which is a bump.
Exactly. But at the very bare minimum, they do have the infrastructure and ballot access necessary to be successful in this presidential campaign. They have the ballot access and infrastructure necessary to at least even run a campaign, which you can't say about the People's Party.